terminology for this. I think there's pregnant pause. Maybe this should be called the technology pause in a meeting and you get it.
Double check them, do what they can do. That looks like it's done.
You never look at the instructions.
Just making sure. I think we're all good.
So welcome everyone to the back to the open meeting for the West Parry Sound Recreation Cultural Center Board, Joint Municipal Services Board. Everyone who's in the waiting room has been raised back in, right? Welcome back, those who were here before and have stayed. Item 1.1 in the open agenda, any additions to the agenda? Linwood?
Mr. Chair, if I could ask that the board consider adding some information related to the scoreboard and donor wall provisions, it would be appreciated. Thank you.
Any other additions to the agenda? Seeing none, move on to item 1.2, approval of the agenda. Can I have a mover and a seconder? Moved by Mayor McGarvey, seconded by Reeve Liverance. That the agenda for the September 10th, 2025 West Parry Sound Recreation and Cultural Center Board is hereby approved as amended. Discussion? All those in favor? Carried. Any declarations of pecuniary interest? Seeing none. Approval of the minutes. Have a mover and a seconder. Moved by Councillor Dobro, seconded by Mayor McGarvey. That the minutes of the August 13th, 2025 regular meeting of the West Parry Sound Recreation Cultural Center Board are hereby approved as circulated. Discussion, all those in favor? Carried. Delegations and correspondence, none for tonight. Moving on to business for tonight. Item 3.1, steering committee update. Mr. Inwood's bringing that forward, then it's a separate item. The other steering committee updates. Item 3.2, audited financial statements submitted by Director of Finance, BDO partner Glenn Ventrick. Mr. Ventrick. Welcome.
Everyone hear me?
Yep.
Perfect. Chair, I don't know whether you wanted to go through the financial statements in any level of detail, or if there are any questions, I'm here to answer. If anybody wants me to go through the finances in detail, I certainly can.
I have a high level update if you would like that.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so at the time of the financial statements, the project management design was complete and construction was just getting underway. 12.3 million had been incurred for a capital project to date. Cash flow contributions were made in the interim while we set up a line of credit at the time, and those are showing as due to the partner municipalities. Those have all since been returned. 355,000 in donation and fundraising revenues were recorded at the time. And the first sponsorship agreement was approximately 22,000. It's been signed, but revenues are going to be deferred until construction is complete when the term of the performance obligations related to those agreements begins and spread over the time of the agreements. Interest earned of 196,000 helped to fund operating expenditures within the year. And that's a pretty high level update. If anybody had any questions for me or Glenn, I'd be happy to answer those as well.
Okay, thank you. Any questions from board members on the audited financial statements or on that high level update? Seeing none, then I'll put the resolution on the table. A mover and a seconder. Moved by Mayor McGarvey, seconded by Councillor Dobro. That the 2024 audited financial statements be approved substantially in the form attached. Discussion? All those in favor? Carried. Is there a form I'll have to sign at some point for having received from the chair?
So when the finals go out, yeah, we'll circulate the finals and they'll go to you and myself.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Ventrick. They let you off very easy tonight, so must have been thorough.
They have. Thanks, Stephanie, for all your help.
Okay, have a good evening.
Any questions, give me a call. Thanks.
Okay.
Thank you.
Item 3.3, the monthly financial report submitted by the steering committee. Ms. Phillips.
Okay, the balance sheet shows cash balance is approximately 1.26 million at the end of August 2025, following receipt of grant claim 7 for 1.86 million. The charity bank account is now at 99,000. The amount due to the fundraising account is approximately 1.1 million to be reconciled annually. So we're using those funds for cash flow. And they'll be applied to the capital project once municipal contributions and grant funding is exhausted. The line of credit was utilized in August for cash flow and returned to a positive cash position after receipt of the claims, so not yet reflected on the statements. Capital work in progress is now at 19 million. The transfer of the property at 44 Joseph to the MSB and forgiveness of the loan is expected to occur on or about September 18th. The statement of operations, 640,000 approximately in donations, 5,000 in other fundraising initiatives, and 261,000 in sponsorship naming rights revenues. Sorry, one sec. Received year to date. 3.09 million in grant revenues have been claimed year to date. Funds on hand are earning interest of 59,000 approximately. Some minor expenses for bank charges, audit fees, software, website, and other promotional costs are reflected. 38,000 approximately in legal costs are shown, which include a variety of agreement-related works. $773 in interest for the line of credit usage was incurred. And as of August, the fundraising surplus from the beginning to date is approaching 1.23 million, and future commitments made are 1.6 million based upon signed sponsorship naming rights agreements to date. The total fundraising to date is 2.83 million of the target of 5 million. So any questions? I'd be happy to answer those.
Your mic is up. We can't hear you.
I'll reread it then. So it was moved by Counselor Fellner, seconded by Counselor Dobro, that the August 31st, 2025 financial reports be received for information. Any further discussion? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor? Carried. Item 3.4, project and budget update. Submitted by the steering committee. I believe Mr. Malute is here tonight to present that to the board. Welcome, Vlad.
Yeah, good evening, everybody. Thanks for having me. I'll run through the presentation here quickly. Just give me 1 second, I'll share my screen. And this. Right. Okay, here we go. Yeah, project update September 10th for the Tamarack North Center. So I'll go over the short-term construction schedule, overall project schedule, budget update, and balance of the contingency to date. Short-term schedule, so ongoing activities on site. We are well into the interior metal stud walls as well as putting up drywall sheets and mudding and taping as space becomes available. Block walls have also progressed well. They are now completed for the first area of the slab on grade, which was poured. The interior underfloor plumbing is near completion. We're just completing now the last section under the mechanical room and filtration room. That's expected to be completed by the end of next week. And then we have interior mechanical and electrical teams working on the rough ends within the walls and over into the ceilings. Ductwork is also ongoing. We're installing the ductwork as space also becomes available. Sprinkler system is well underway. Our sprinkler installing is progressing well. Several areas are near completion already, and they're also working behind available spaces. For the pool system, we have completed the installation of the filtration boxes and some of the piping associated with that. And we are currently working on the slab on grade for the bottom of the pool. And we're expecting to pour that over the next 2 weeks. Concrete slab on grade pour phase number 2 preparations ongoing. So we're working on following behind the underground plumbing. We're working on the subgrade and vapor barriers and reinforcement. Exterior glazing, that's also moving well. We've got outside of the main entrance windows, we've got all the windows, the frames almost fully installed. We're just waiting for the glass that's expected to be arriving here in the next upcoming weeks. So once the glass is in, the balance of the exterior will be finalized and the building will start to be fully enclosed in. And then we're also working on the exterior site works. So we're going to be starting the subgrade preparation and finalizing some of the electrical work that we're working on currently. For overall project schedule, I touch base here. So concrete slab on grade phase 2, we're looking to pour that before the end of September. So that's going to open up the second phase of interior walls to start, and also those bank of change rooms and mechanical rooms to be furnished with the with the equipment and materials to be there. Touch base on pool work as well. So over the next few weeks, we're going to be working on the foundation slab. So we are currently working on the lap pool. Then we'll be transitioning into the therapeutic pool. And base coat of asphalt, we're targeting that to be installed over the parking lots and roads before the end of October. And overall construction completion date is still targeted for late May of 2026. In terms of project budget, we still no change to the update shared back in December. However, we are working currently on tendering the landscaping scope of work, and that's scheduled to be closed in the next couple of weeks. So that will be closing in most of the budget. There'll be some minor items that need to be tendered, but the landscaping is the last big contract award. And in terms of overall project budget, we're still sitting at the 39.5 million. Construction contingency. So I'll just touch base on the current status since our last meeting here. So to date, we have 271,338.19 in approved and pending changes. And our construction contingency is currently sitting at $812,023.04. And here I'll go through some pictures to show some progress. Over here, we're looking at the east-south corner of the building. This is along Joseph Street. You can see here the siding has been completed since our last meeting above the canopy, as well as some of the walls towards the south end. Over here is a panoramic shot of the gymnasium. So here we can see the wall, the mudding and taping of the drywall is ongoing. You can also see some of the sprinkler line on that wall as well. And then if you really squint your eyes, you can see some of the sprinkler lines through the joist space beside the HVAC ductwork. Over here is a shot of the.
Just on that, if we back up to one photo, I think that's spectator area there on the far wall, those indents.
Correct, yeah. So these three spots here will be where the bleachers will be mounted.
Thank you.
Over here, we're looking at a shot from the conditioning and walking track with a fitness studio here in the middle. And you see we've commenced boarding those walls as well, and also working along the west side of the conditioning and walking track with the walls as well. Here you can also see the painting overhead. We did the initial painting of the steel deck and mechanical ductwork, and then will be one final touch up as we wrap things up on the overhead space. Over here, this is a bit outdated picture here, but we're looking inside the pool area. So over here to the left, you can kind of see beside the excavator, beside the excavator, we have the main pool drains, and then this is our team working on bringing up the subgrade for the slab on grade of the pool. And you can see also along the west wall here, so the wall looking straight ahead, you can see all the frames of the curtain wall are installed. Over here, just a quick glimpse on the left is again the east-south entrance, just in preparation for slab number 2. We're going to incorporate this area into the slab pour. And then on the right here is a shot of our mechanical team working on the underground plumbing around the filtration and towards the back of the change rooms here. And that's it for my presentation. Thank you for listening. I'll take any questions or comments.
Okay, thank you for that. Any questions, comments from the board? Good. Mr. Inwood?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just again, I have to commend our team at Ball Construction for just being, no pun intended, but on the ball. They are managing a very significant body of subtrades right now. It is a very complex time in the project, and I think across the board, we're all very impressed with the work they're doing. I'll also share with the board that I've been working with the team from Ball on establishing a window where perhaps we can invite the board members to come and get a tour. I think we're gonna wait for that second pour to get done because it's pretty complex inside until that second concrete pour is done. But we'll be looking at a date somewhere probably mid-October to invite board members to come and have a tour of the facility as well.
Any other questions or comments? No. All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Malou.
Thank you all. Thank you, Jason.
So I need a mover and a seconder to see this update. Moved by Mayor McGarvey, seconded by Councillor Fellner. That the board receive the September 10th, 2025 project and budget update for information purposes. Discussion. All those in favor? It's carried. Item 3.5 is the fundraising sponsorship update from the fundraising committee chair, Mayor, and welcome.
Thank you very much. We are more than closing in on $3 million. I have verbal commitments from 4 family foundations that total about $300,000. I'm going to Toronto to collect some of those checks in a couple of weeks. I will say that our donors are awfully Seguin-centric, maybe because that's where I feel like I can twist arms, but I'd really appreciate help from other municipalities. They don't need to be $50,000 checks, but families that want to contribute, now's the time. I'd really appreciate help in other municipalities if at all possible. I'll come, but right now, the work is door knocking and building relationships and having an awful lot of lunches and coffee meetings. But it needs to be done, and people are seeing the building and believing us. You may note how some of our naysayers have become very quiet. They are not commenting anymore. I do want to report that Libby Walker, who has been chairing the Christmas concerts, we're not going to have a Christmas concert this year, but she has agreed to be the chair of the Hard Hat Party in April. She and I've met with several catering companies who've done proposals for us and are close to signing a contract with the Rosso Pizzeria to cater the event. They know there's no kitchen. They've been innovative in how we'll have hot food and food stations. It's going to be quite a party. And Jason Ball and Chris Madden have committed to at least 200 hard hats to be distributed at the party. So put April 25th or 26th on your calendar. It will depend on Ball Construction getting the occupancy contract or occupancy permit, I guess. But we hope to have that exact date by January. And as I said, it's the family foundations I'm working on right now very hard because they are going to want their tax receipts before December for the tax year. And the other big things I'm trying to sell are the naming rights for what I'm calling the aquatic center. So the pool room and the gym, each priced at $1 million. There are definitely some people actively considering it, likely over 5 or 10 years. But each of those priced at $1 million. To everybody that I speak to, I do say, make me an offer. And if I get an offer, I'll bring it back to the board. But that's where we're at. And, I really could use the help. I will be in early December contacting every donor over $1,000 to get their sign off on exactly how their donation should be attributed, whether it's on the donor wall, will it be in memory of, what is it? And we need that for each and every donor over $1,000 before we open. So that's going to be a significant body of administrative work that we need to do to make sure we do it right. And other than that, happy to take questions.
For that, thank you for all that you do. Any questions or comments? I'll just make a comment this week when we were doing the upgrade of the sign at the site for Tamarack North Center. Councillor Lundy from the Archipelago, who was there representing the Masonic Lodge, made a contribution of $2,500, which is in addition to the $5,000 they've already contributed. So the lodge is now at $7,500, if I have the numbers right.
Actually, it's a little bit more than 7,500 because there was another member of the Masonic Lodge who also wanted his donation to go towards it. I think it was 250 or something like that. But they are making a verbal commitment to be annual donors as best they can.
To that organization and all the organizations. Any other questions or? Thank you very much. Move on to item 3.6, the Carling Integrity Commission report. there for information. Is anyone speaking to this? There for information then just submitted by the board secretary, so. So I need a mover and a seconder to accept that report. Moved by Mayor
Point of
McCartney.
order,
Pardon me?
point of order.
Oh, sorry.
Thank you, Chair. Under the Roberts rules, when a report is received for information purposes, there's no vote required and they're recommending no vote is taken because there is no actions to be taken regarding the report. The report was for another township. So I'm just stating that there should be no vote in this matter. It should just be recorded in the minutes that it has been accepted and filed. Thank you.
Okay, that's noted. I'm not sure I can clarify that because it was received by this board. And this board was party to requesting that report be done. What I'll do, I think in all fairness, you've raised the point. I'm not in the position to answer it. Our clerk is not here tonight to be able to answer that for me, and I won't put Ms. Phillips in that position. So with the permission of the board, I'll ask for this to be tabled until the next meeting of the board. The board okay with tabling it? All right, so we'll table that issue. That's it on my agenda. Oh, sorry, we had the addition. Sorry, Mr. Ingwood. So we had an addition to the agenda, which was the donor wall and scoreboard. Mr. Ingwood.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. As members of the board will recall, earlier this year, we sought out to get a quote from our contractor and subtrades to provide provisions for a future scoreboard in the natatorium, the aquatic center, as well as the provisions for a future electronic donor wall. That work has been completed and I earlier today received the final quote, and I apologize for bringing this late, but timing is becoming very much of the essence here. So in order to provide all of the appropriate electrical conduit, as well as the appropriate upgrades to the electrical panels to be able to ensure that there's a future connection point and that the electrical system will be able to essentially provide a plug and play scenario with all work, including structural work to ensure that the two areas are prepared to hang the appropriate scoreboards and or donor walls in the future. The total fee for that is $28,183.18. At this point in time, it is unbudgeted for. It is a change in scope of work, as I've mentioned before. So it does require board approval to proceed with authorizing this change order to the prime contract. Happy to answer any questions. Mr. Chair, thank you.
Thank you. Questions? Comments from the board? Reeve Liverance?
Yeah, I guess, thank you, Dale. Question would be more for Ann is, would the scoreboard and donor wall be something that we could have someone's name attached to, or is this something that's already been earmarked for a donation?
I have actually sold the naming rights to both the scoreboards in the one in the gym and in the pool to Kaboom Fireworks. So they have the naming rights for both of them. But that doesn't pay for the electrical. It pays for their name on it. And the donor board was scoped in the drawings, I guess, from CS&P, that here's where you could put it. But the physical attribute of a stronger wall to have it and electrical connections were not included. But I do believe we need to acknowledge the donors, and they are expecting their names to be seen.
Right. Thank you.
Questions? Go.
Thank you, Chair. Mr. Inwood, with this addition, is there any chance, I have a feeling I know the answer, that this could come under a grant through one of the potential grants we may be looking at, or was the naming negate that?
Through the chair, the provisions of a donor wall and a score clock in the natatorium would be a future grant. There would be the ability to pursue a future grant after we're done the current project, if you will.
Garvey?
I don't think we've asked Trillium for any funds yet. Why don't we put in an application to Trillium for something like this?
Through the chair, to add to the current scope of work with another grant, we're going to run into a stacking issue where we have some challenges with the current grant. We, as members of the board are aware, we're pursuing, and we've been having many discussions about how and what other grants we can pursue. This would have to be done outside of the current scope of work, which there's no reason we couldn't do that.
No, Garvey?
So through the chair, I guess my question is was this included in the ISIP grant to have the donor wall and the scoreboards? And if not, well, then we should pursue a Trillium grant. We haven't gone to them yet, but surely to goodness they'd like their logo in the building, where everybody's going to see. I just think we should pursue it.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Through you, certainly we'll take this back and inquire as to ensure we don't want to complicate our own current grant, and we'll do our due diligence, and we'd be happy to report back to the board at a future date.
I think the point's taken one way or the other. We're going to apply for funding for this at some point in time for it. So that's, I think, the direction from the board. So then we want this by resolution then through the.
Because of the nature of the change of scope, I think a resolution would be appropriate.
Garvey? Oh, you're moving second? Okay. I need a wording now.
That the board, did I say it? That the board approves additional.
yeah, the term.
That much money? Is
Oh,
that
yeah.
good? I can do it.
Okay.
Okay, the resolution that the board approves the additional donor wall score clock works for $28,183.18.
Be approved. Mr. Greenwood?
Mr. Chair, if I can just suggest perhaps the provisions for a donor wall and score clock. I wouldn't want there to be a misunderstanding that we're actually supplying a scoreboard and a donor wall at this point.
Thank you.
Got that? Moved by Mayor McGarvey,
Yeah.
second by Councillor Fellner. Discussion, Mayor McGarvey.
I was going to say, are we including in that one? Or are we going for a separate resolution or direction with regard to Trillium funding?
I could suggest we would just follow up because we have to make sure that stacking rules and everything, that we're not going outside of that, and we can explore what other options are available as well.
Well, maybe we put that in the direction that we explore
I'll do a separate direction after this.
after
resolution.
that. Okay, perfect. Okay.
So on this resolution as
Fine.
read the second time, any more discussion? All those in favor? Carried. Thank you. So then, Councillor Fellner. So then there's an additional item relating to that then, that the board give direction to the steering committee to look at funding opportunities for the scoreboard and the donor wall. So all those in favor of that direction? Sorry, Mayor McGarvey? or
Well, I
Mayor McDermott?
It's okay, just Anne's fine. The scoreboard, I looked at Trillium grants before, and I believe the scoreboard can be classed under Trillium as programming grants. And I don't believe ISIP covers any programming. So that makes it more eligible for Trillium because the timing clocks are to facilitate actual programming in both the gym and the pool.
So wouldn't the donor wall also be providing information to the public about various events and programming and that sort of thing as well?
Yes, I mean, we need to go out to RFP for that, but yes, the donor walls I've looked at do include scheduling, hours of operation, their programming too.
Yeah. Okay.
But I'm not sure we're not ahead of ourselves here. Do we not need an estimate of the cost of donor wall and the scoreboard first before we ask for funding? Mr. Inwood?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We have, during this process of determining the electrical needs, the structural needs, we have a general idea of what we would be procuring in the future. And so I'm fairly confident that we would be able to create cost estimates based off of that. Again, I'm happy to take that back and report back at a future meeting on, here's the process, here's the costs that we'd be applying for, and update the board as to whether or not we're eligible to apply for any grants, including those costs.
So then we'll make the direction then that you'll bring back to the board, costing for the donor wall and for the scoreboard and potential funding opportunities. Mover and a seconder. Moved by Reeve Liverance, second by Mayor McGarvey. Discussion on that direction. Those in favor? Carried. Thank you. Nothing else then on my schedule I can see unless I've missed something. So I'll just ask for a mover and a seconder to adjourn. Moved by Councillor Dobro, seconded by Councillor Fellner. All's in favor? Carried. Thank you, everyone. Have a good night.